Currently, civil society in the province has gone through a process of a formal election, which it had outcomes of the new leadership that we are having today.
As the activist of CSF, we make sure that we influence the policies of government to match for community. Like Comrade Mpumi spoke about the dispute. The cabal that is fighting against the elected leadership, they want to get rid of Tulane Molemo and Free State Rainbow seats as the SRs. You can see now on the SR is Siko Kaharo province. Eloreng, it doesn't want to be part of any activities that are happening within the province. So that SR Eco usually put. So colleagues, like I said, there's a renewal next year. So this previous leadership, it has been assisted by the national leadership to make sure that 2 SRs that are serving the province, they will be out. And then this province will be served by the Gauteng people or Gauteng organizations. So hence when I have started, I said I'm not going to buy any faces from you. We are here to defend what is belong to Free State as the elected leadership. We are not buying your faces or no, so we are going to say no. We are here to defend the poverty that is within Free State.
But we are trying to say today, we're trying to summarize simply for those of us to say, actually, what are organizations? What is civil society forum? What is PCA? How do these things come together? How do people that work within the organizations that implement programs that are focusing on HIV, STIs, TB, and all these, how are they related to the NSP?
Emblema means fruit of the spirit.
Those clients that we are servicing in Mangaung literally come from these outside areas. They are here for economic reasons, schooling and other things. When they go back to these small areas, there is no servicing that happens there. So default, loss to follow up and all these other things happen there. That then gets to understand when we say districts like Okharip get to be serviced through Mangaung. But when these clients go back to their own original districts, they do not then get to benefit. But what is more critical, number 6 for us, sharing this information with yourselves, is that you look at the province and say, if this module exists only in Mangaung, we have transgenders across the province. How do they get to be serviced? We need to depend on Tulwana in Mangaung with the limited resources that they have to help me service transgenders in the sex work program that is sitting in Tabamfutsanyana. What about Lejoliputu? What about Fezile-Dabi? What about other districts?
We are having people that will convince the Global Fund to see the necessity or the importance of funding the organization for 5 years, not for 3 years. Check the human rights. The human rights violation is not only into 2 districts or 3 districts. Human rights violations are everywhere. Then it happens anytime. If maybe that program or activity can be funded for entire province, not for a selective district. So through CSF members, then we can change that. You will agree with me by saying that when you go to Fezile-Dabi, otafumana hore batho ba bolawang haholo mo ke LGBTQIA+ community members. Government ya rona ha yetse next. You see, but we are saying as the CSF members, we are the policy influencers. So let us make sure the government, in the meantime, when we are still in negotiations with the Global Fund and PEPFA, or funded this other district. So let us make sure our government, there is organizations that are funded. Say Lorendita Chakanade key pops. When you go to our NSP, the current one, goal number 4, it speaks directly about the resources, whereby we have to make sure that we mobilize more resources for CSF and organizations that are going to work with LGBTQIA members. Any human rights violations that are happening in Kohobon.
How many brothels exist in the city? How many houses in the location have people that are in the sex work program? And these are the people that are clogging the health system in the clinics, get human rights violations, get stigma and discrimination, default, and the performance of the metro is the picture that we see. How should we say this thing? Nobody will say it except the civil society forum.
This structure, the civil society structure, is a premier's office structure, right? They, even when you see their signature, the premier's office signature on the logo exists on there. So when I was nominated and I was voted in, democratically so, by people I saw that looked me in the eyes and heard me speak, I was now suddenly an advisor, a recommender for provincially the LGBTI sector that was going to be reporting through to the Premier's office, and we were told not to fear government. We were told not to fear politicians. We were told not to fear the Premier's office, not to fear the ruling party, not to fear any political party, because we were told we were saving lives. And we were going to highlight in the previous National Strategic Plan, it was goal number 3, targeted service, targeted interventions. So then I appealed to the Secretariat's office and I said, please give me a signature because I accept this position. And the first thing they said was no. I'm like, but I've been appointed. Can I please get an appointment letter? They said no. And I was like, can I have a handover report from the previous leader? No. Emails start going back and forth. There was a previous sector leader who didn't recognize me as a sector leader. We had to write rough letters to each other, CCing the Secretariat's office. Ne? And then the Secretariat's office said, no, we like your leadership style. You are fighting. But it hurt me because now within the sector we were fighting for recognition. I was told I wasn't recognized as the sector leader. I said, I don't recognize not being recognized. Can you imagine? Thank you, Mr. Muteki, for knowing the procedural guidelines as well as you do. I remember many meetings where you would refer back to the procedural guidelines, because our meetings in civil society were for people who liked sleeping at hotels, eating hotel food, and getting drunk there. Right? That's what I thought that's what we were going for. To sleep at hotels, get drunk, and have side deals that I never was privy to. And I also would like to offer my heart to the civil society, which means I want to offer something honest. I want to offer something transparent. I don't want to be bribed. I don't want to have to give anybody money. I don't want to have to be in any favor or owing favors to anyone. I remember when I was part of the civil society, like, oh, Nosana takes pictures. Oh, Nosana does a nice Facebook page. Oh, do it for civil society. I'm like, you can't afford me. No? And also with the Poppy Act, with all our different organizations, protection of privacy, protection of our right to express ourselves, which are in our constitution. I didn't see how I could run a Facebook page for different sectors that have got their different privacies that they need to protect. Through our good leader here on this side, Mr. Swato, who I think we all trust because we didn't sign a release form, consent form for this video, ne? Because we knew what we were getting ourselves into here. We were going to try and confess and correct and have a way forward for the structure. It was a horror show trying to sensitize the Premier's office. We succeeded in the end because there were people who had to apologize for their reactions. And even last week, some of us were in another meeting. I wasn't trying to be sensitive, but we do sensitive work, and I love hearing it being repeated here today. Thank you, my program manager, for the work that I know you're going to continue to do for the sector.
Comes to HRV, as much as our contracts in the organizations are binding, it's performance-based.
Yeah.
Follow up on a case, document new ones, and see to that they are resolved. And give me the 2 or 3 in a day. I think it's along those lines. It's quite a handful. And then you make progress, and then you are met with, say, hey, we can't do anything. They were now at least mild to sexual approach. There's a lot of things that needs to be tightened if you want to get the human rights program right. Not necessarily having a steering committee where it's just us funded organizations sitting, but we need to have, this is a provincial commissioner of police.
I'm referring to that.
Who also they fast track
according
the
to
cases
their
as they come.
careers.
And for us to implement effectively, these are the kind of resources that we would need. That's why we submit the application with everything else. And when you accept our application as an SR, you are supposed to sit down with us and say, guys, you sold this idea to us. We love it. We see what you are saying. You have done your calculations, this, that, and the other. Here is what you need. It might not be 100%, but the majority of what you need for you to deliver what you said to us you will deliver is here. But if you then have to end up subsidizing the PR for the implementation of a program, how would you get it right? This thing that we are talking about will happen. Because if you had appointed me and had given me full budget that focuses on human rights violation, that covers my staffing, that takes into consideration the district that I work in, I would be able to deliver on these things. If, for example, they sit with 2, what do you call them now?
Reactors.
2 reactors. No, forget parallel.
That's expensive.
You've seen the geographical area covered by Mangau. How do you do that then with 2 reactors? Common sense should tell you. How then does M&E have to fight and maneuver and create numbers? Because corrupt M&Es will then have to create numbers there.
Coke numbers.
Exactly. And what happens to the reputation of the organization?
It drops.
Now our position, the Mzeki, in Tulwana is simple. We report what we have done. We don't report what we have not done. That's being frank and honest. And then we say the challenges we're sitting with are the following. And if you do nothing about them, we will escalate this matter to whoever you are reporting to at another level. Because if we don't do that, we will struggle. You and your leadership of the province, whether on your own or through the PCA, must make sure that you have an official session with PRs that are implementing in the province. Because if that does not happen, you depend on hearsay of that individual and that individual and that individual, and you don't engage honestly on a formal official platform with the PR. And that creates unnecessary tensions because you have to listen to one individual who likes this PR or one individual who doesn't like the PR. So you don't have information that can be relied upon.
You can imagine the danger that comes with us individually and getting Angel. I see a point where the CSO is going to report 250 cases, what identified, and then we come, Rona, we say there is no, we are struggling and I still think that is something that needs to be really.
Are you right?
I think we have wasted so many years. I think we need to scan that. And actually, if it was up to me, I was hoping that the new leadership with all the districts and all the organizations would have a plenary meeting that says, are we sharing the same vision? Because what has really wasted our time when it comes to consultation, it makes our voice not even heard. Because it's very pointless for me to come from someone who implement that to a setting program who politique. You get defeated. So it's just what I'm hoping for.
New leadership of civil society. We also identified a gap when the sectors were funded to do certain programs. So we would like also to see to it that not only sectors will be funded without being capacitated on to account on those activities they need to do. So that was the major gap that happened, and that we could withdraw the support from the PCA or from the salary. So on way going forward, we are looking to all the sectors in the province being funded and being supported by the SRs. I thank you.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Kinana, we have started towards the right direction. Because if you can use this top-bottom approach, maybe it will assist us to be mandated at the district level by the province, so that we can try our level best to capacitate our own organizations within the province, so that for future, all SRs who should operate in the province should be from Free State. Thank you.
As a new leadership electing CSF, I believe everything it will be better than previous leadership, because more especially more the organization in the small grant. Can you totally dead chance more like no since money chance under SCSF, I believe everything is gonna be okay, and then we're gonna make Free State one of the provinces top scalable. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ndate Motseki for giving me the opportunity to be part of the district election under the human rights. Thank you, Ndate, for always looking up for me. In particular spaces, you are always looking up for me to grow. And I want also to thank Ndate Satu for this opportunity to have in this meeting, because I have learned more from Victor's presentation that we are also having the similar challenges and have learned in implementing the HRV program, what should we do in Free State. So this was a fruitful meeting indeed. Thank you.
And I'm a very fast learner, and I'm a long life learner. So I'm here as a chairperson of youth to make sure that youth will tell the opportunities and then we get the experience and to the thing like that. You want to say Free State election.
This was a fruitful engagement. I think me as a field worker, I get to understand the behind the scenes management or if it's about for us people who are in the field. So thank you so much for this. It was very enlightening and eye-opening. Thank you.
For me, thank you everybody, especially the leadership. Sometimes we don't know that you are going through fire. So this session we were able to get that information to say things because now you can't even stand and say we will. Then we are waiting for whatever dispute result of it, dispute outcome. And I'm hoping that it doesn't go to a place where it's not supposed to. So thank you for that. At least we will be with you in our prayers. Thanks.
It's my first time that I've attended to this session, so thank you, Ndate Swatu and Osumpumi, for inviting me as well. For me, I think we just need to flip the coin. The experiences that Nosana talked about, let's make sure that the people that have been newly elected, that we don't repeat the same mistakes that have been done. And let's not forget the people that we're supposed to be serving. And then lastly, let's not allow other people from other provinces to come and rule us. Thank you.
And I think for me,
what stands out is the part, the terms of reference, because I wasn't sure when I was appointed on what would be my direct contribution to the sector. But I think with the introduction and also having to have a plan, I would understand how I better fit to make positive change in the CSF. So at least I'm now comfortable to be able to undertake the responsibilities that comes with me being in the sector. And what is a take home for me is that I think we need as an organization as well to strengthen our planning, because if we are now saying when we plan our activities, we also need to somehow include the CSF, then it will mean to cover on our internal processes. We also need to have a solid plan going forward.
Thank you very much, Nozi, that this reflection you've made today assists the new leadership to really look forward to avoiding those pitfalls by all means. But I want to heartily thank every one of you, even those that are not here. I know it was maybe some sort of short notice and people are committed, but for those of you that are here, please, let's go back, fly the flag. How the Civil Society Forum, newly elected in this province, intends to service the communities that are most vulnerable. Let's do that with everything else we have in our power. And thank you, Chair, for your time.
Thank you very much, the Deswatu and Truana Emolemo team, for granting me the opportunity to get cash through the invitation of my leader. And I hope what we have discussed in here will give birth to a new CSF leadership. And I'm very happy that we had this opportunity to can actually outline and debrief some of the issues that were outstanding with the previous leadership. And I'm very, very, very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, guys.
On behalf of Mangaung Metro, I would like to thank you, all of you who participated in this debate for today. And I would sincerely like to thank the CFS members, as well as Ndadeswatu and his team, to call us to be together and share the ideas. I just hope that the CSF members who are new, they are not going to repeat what the previous ones do. The civil society, because I want to make an example, whereby you tell them how to write a report and how to make their demands. And then our corporate major, then they said, so you can imagine, Major is my boss. And now we try to guide them so that they must get what they have to do, and then so thank you very much. I hope this one is a strong one and they will do what we have discussed. And we hope that they will keep the light burning for the province of the First State. Thank you very much.
I'm a field worker. So, office. So, what I'm supposed to do is to preach this and also to implement this. So, I'm not here to come and ask for the kickbacks. We are here to make sure that Free State it comes one of the best province in terms of implementing the NSP or the PIP. Hoping that in Ndadeswatu this kind of meetings will be continuously, so that indirectly so saying these meetings are capacitating our newly elected members, and then they will be more brave to challenge issues and also to engage issues fearlessly. So, colleagues, let us implement the NSP or the PIP of the province to make sure that at the end of the day, our community are the ones that are going to benefit. Thank you.
I would really like to thank Tulona Mulimo, of which I'm not a stranger to, and also not a stranger to the other members in this meeting. So with the opportunity that we got today to have this meeting, I think going forward, we'll need to engage more, and not necessarily with the things that matters only for Tolwana, but also with things that matters for the civil society. Our collaboration will make our effort much easier in addressing the issues, and also making sure that our province have resources, because without resources, the civil society won't have the strength to move forward. So with doing that, we'll also be assisting the minor organizations on the ground, which are doing the major job to assist the civil society. So with all our efforts counted in the NSP and the PIP in the province, I thank you.
We make our own branding stand out. Akunalwetha kazi wena.
Yeah.
It's none to man.
Leave number phone.
Hey, branding here is amazing. Kilo sebenzisa kai happen to ring.
Yeah, that's true.
Kilo example. The next PR iko tumela ukisebenzisa branding. Yeah, the other PR. That's the way the snack is. But we have raised this sharply during the national G7 processes, so it's coming into attention.